भक्ति गौरवाणी प्रचारिणी निर्विशेष शून्यवादी वसदेश तारिणी जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण प्रभु जी
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. So let's get started. The screen is already shared on YouTube. Before that, we will start the Kirtan. Okay. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna everyone, many thanks for everyone to join in, and let's start with Krishna book, chapter 88, and we are continuing from where we left last week. So this is Shiva, the deliverance of Shiva, and Shiva is glorifying Krishna. It's just factual information right now. Now Sukdev Goswami will continue. Before that, let's read the precious words we read last time around. In other words, favors received from Lord Shiva are not actually beneficial to the conditioned soul, although materially such facilities seem opulent. Sukdev Goswami continued, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Hari, is transcendental to the three qualities of material nature. In the Bhagavad Gita, the Lord states that anyone who surrenders unto him surpasses the control of the three qualities of material nature. And therefore, since Hari's devotees are transcendental to the control of the three material qualities, certainly he himself is transcendental. In Srimad Bhagavatam, it is therefore stated that Hari or Krishna is the originally the internal and then the external potency, and Krishna is overlord of both. He is Sarvadrik, or the overseer of all the activities of the internal and external potencies, and he is, because he is the supreme advisor, he is above all the demigods who merely follow the directions of the supreme advisor. As such, if one directly follows the instructions of the Supreme Lord as inculcated in the Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, then one gradually becomes nirguna, or above the interaction of the material qualities. To be nirguna means to be bereft of material qualities, because as we have explained, material opulence means an increase of the action and reaction of the three material qualities. By worshipping the Supreme Personality of God, and instead of being puffed up with material opulence, one becomes enriched with a spiritual advancement of knowledge in Krishna consciousness. To become nirguna means to achieve external peace, fearlessness, religiousness, knowledge, and renunciation. All the symptoms of becoming all these are symptoms of becoming free from contamination of material qualities. So what is nirguna? Nirguna means without having gunas. Which gunas? Without having material gunas. Nirguna does not mean without having any gunas. Nirguna means without having material gunas. And when we do not have material guna, we would be filled with eternal peace. Look at this: eternal peace, fearlessness, religiousness, knowledge, renunciation. Yeah. Sukhdev Goswami, in answering Parikshit Maharaj's question, went on to cite historical instance regarding Parikshit Maharaj's grandfather, King Yudhishthira. He said that after finishing the Ashwamedh sacrifice in the great sacrificial arena, King Yudhishthira, in the presence of great authorities, inquired from Lord Krishna on that very same point: how is it that the devotees of Lord Shiva becomes materially opulent, whereas the devotees of Lord Vishnu does not? Sukhdev Goswami specifically referred to the King Yudhishthira as your grandfather, so that Parikshit Maharaj would be encouraged to think that he was related to Krishna, and that his grandfather were intimately connected with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Now, a devotee, the quality of a devotee is that they want to feel that connection with Krishna all the time, and that pleases them. Material opulence does not please them. Anything, wealth, money, does not please them. The connection with Krishna, strong connection with Krishna, pleases them. So here Sukhdev Goswami is referring Yudhishthira as your grandfather, so that the hearer of the topic, Parikshit Maharaj, feels that connection. Actually, it tells us a lot about how we should be preaching. We should be preaching in a way that the receiver, the hearer, the listener connects himself to Krishna. The connection is there. He may or may not be able to establish it. That is a different thing. The connection is there. So the preaching should be such that the hearer or the listener or the receiver of the knowledge, of the absolute knowledge, finds his or her connection with Krishna. Those who are very good in preaching, they would be able to pass on this message very smoothly. Correct? Although by nature Krishna is always very satisfied, when Maharaj Yudhishthira asked this question, the Lord became even more satisfied, because this question and its answer would bring a great meaning to the entire Krishna consciousness society. So you must have read in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says it very clearly: I come down to establish dharma, religion. To annihilate the miscreants, but to establish religion. So, subjects related to Krishna would be establishing religion, dharma, the laws which humans are bound by. Now, once anyone gets that knowledge that these are the laws that I am bound by, then he or she would try and find answers to what should be done. Correct? What should be done so that this connection is re-established. Yeah. So Krishna is very happy because of this fact. Again, continuing. Although by nature Krishna is always very satisfied, when Maharaj Yudhishthira asked this question to the Lord, he became even more satisfied, because this question and its answer would bring a great meaning to the entire Krishna consciousness society. Even whenever Lord Krishna speaks about something to the specific devotee, it is not only for that devotee but for all devotees, and indeed for the entire human society. The instruction by the Supreme Personality of Godhead are important uh, uh, even to Lord Brahma, Shiva, and other demigods. So you must be aware that Devi Devta or demigods uh, uh, hear the conversation of Krishna with any pure devotee. It's because they also want to hear that message that Krishna is passing on. Okay, so instruction by the Supreme Personality of Godhead are important even to Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, and other demigods. And if one does not take advantage of the instruction of the Supreme Personality of Godhead to be sensed within this material world for the benefit of all living entities, he is certainly very unfortunate. Similarly, this is very important. Anyone who does not join the classes, they too are very unfortunate in the same regard, same manner. Although for them to be unfortunate, uh, we must be reading the scripture properly. If we are reading the scripture properly, and if anyone is not able to hear, they are equally this one very unfortunate, right? So that's the state of matter, that's the state of situation we are in, right? Now Krishna and Krishna's word are non-different. That's the only catch, that pure message should be passing on. If pure message is being passed on, anyone who does not hear, the loser is that person, rather than anyone who is joining, or anyone who is struggling. It's very very good to struggle, it's not bad to struggle, but anyone who finds it extremely happy to be at a lower position, lower situation, lower condition of life, at a fallen position, who accepts that, they are really despicable, really very very low grade people. Because if you accept the fallen condition, there is no difference between you and a demon. In fact, you are worse than demon. You should always think like demon did not get a perfect opportunity, although demons would be getting, but you should always feel like that. Demons did not get perfect opportunity, I was given even perfect opportunity, and even then I am not chanting Krishna's name, even then I am not hearing Krishna's name, even then I am not joining Vaishnava association to share love of Godhead. So those who would not be joining feel bad for me, unfortunately. Lord Krishna answered the question of Maharaj Yudhishthira as follows: if I especially favor a devotee and especially wish to care for him, the first thing I do is take away his riches. Now, what is this riches? This is very important. This is not directly wealth. People misunderstand this as wealth. This is not directly wealth. This is anything. The riches may be your relationship, the riches may be your extra wealth, whatever. I was reading His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada's words. I was hearing to His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada's words today itself, and Srila Prabhupada says excessive wealth almost every time takes us away from Krishna. But what is that excessive? What is that excessive? that only we can define. For someone, let's say $1,000 may be too much. For someone else, 1 lakh crore dollars may be a very small amount. The more he or she feels that he is connected with money and opulence of Krishna, he is getting detached from Krishna. He must get attached from Krishna. The wealth does not matter. You may earn as much as you want, but use it for Krishna. If you want to use it for yourself, then even 1 rupee would be a big thing. You might get opulence in that 1 rupee itself. Proud to have this 1 rupee, proud to have 1 lakh rupee in my account, proud to have 10 lakh rupee in my account. Whenever you would have this pride, even if it comes with a rupee or 1 lakh rupee or a 10 lakh rupee, that pride should go. The problem is not actually wealth. The problem is that pride, that ego, that satisfaction, that association that you have with wealth. And please think wealth to be anything. Wealth could be strength. Wealth could be money. Wealth could be anything. Lord Krishna answered the question of Maharaj Yudhishthira as follows: if I especially favor a devotee and especially wish to care for him, the first thing I do is to take care of his riches. When the devotee becomes penniless, pauper. Now, if you have, let's say, 10 lakh crore, right? And you do not have any money for yourself, you are already a pauper. You are already penniless. But when you are proud to have something, you are proud to have very intelligent mind, you have a lot of wealth, you have a lot of riches, and in this riches mode, you cannot do bhakti. When the devotee becomes penniless, pauper, or is put into comparatively poverty-stricken position, his relatives and family members no longer take interest in him, and in most cases they give up their connection with him. The devotee then becomes doubly unhappy. First of all, the devotee becomes unhappy because of the riches that have been taken away from Krishna, and he is made even more unhappy with his relatives desert him because of his poverty. We should note, however, that the devotee falls in the miserable condition in this way. It is not due to the past impious activities known as karma phala. I think we have read all this. The poverty of the devotee is certainly is a creation of the personality of Godhead. Similarly, when the devotee becomes materially opulent, that is also not due to the pious activities. In either case, when the devotee becomes poorer or richer, the arrangement is made by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The arrangement is especially made by Krishna for his devotees just to make him completely dependent upon him and free him from all the material obligations. He can then concentrate his energy, mind, body, everything for the service of the Lord, and that is pure devotional service. In the Narada Pancharatra, it is therefore explained, Sarvo Padhi Vinirmuktam, which means being freed from all designation. Works performed for family, society, community, nation, humanity are all designated. I belong to this society, I belong to this community, I belong to this nation, I belong to this species of life. Such identities are all merely designations. When by the grace of Lord a devotee is freed from all the designation, his devotional service is actually nishkarmya. Jnanis are very much attracted to the position of nishkarmaya, in which one's action no longer have any material effect. The devotee's activities are freed from material effect, and so these activities are no longer in the category of karma phalam. or fruitive activities. As I explained before by the personified Vedas, the happiness and distress of the devotee are produced by the personality of Godhead, and the devotee therefore does not care whether he is in happiness or distress. He goes on with his duties in executing the devotional service, although his behavior seems to be subject to the action and reaction of fruitive activities. He is actually freed from the result of action. So we have known about this, that a devotee may look like a karmi, a devotee may look like normal means non-devotee. But a devotee would be freed from good and bad work because he is doing everything to satisfy the Lord. It may be questioned why a devotee is put in such tribulation by the personality of God. The answer is that this kind of arrangement by the Lord is just like a father sometimes becomes unkind to his son, because the devotee is a surrendered soul and is taken charge by the Supreme Lord. Whatever condition of life that the Lord puts him, whether one of distress or happiness, it is to be understood that behind this arrangement is a large plan designated by the personality of Godhead. For example, Lord Krishna puts the Pandavas into a distress condition so acute that even grandfather Bhishma could not comprehend how such a distress could occur. He lamented that although the whole Pandava family was headed by King Yudhishthira, the most pious king, and protected by the two great warriors Bhima and Arjuna, and although above all the Pandavas were all intimate friends with the relatives of Lord Krishna, they still had to undergo such tribulations. Later, however, it was proved that this was planned by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, as a part of his great mission to annihilate the miscreants and to protect the devotees. Another question may be raised: what is the difference between a devotee and a common man, since both are put into different kinds of happiness and distressful conditions? The devotee by the arrangement of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and the common man as a result of the past deeds. And now it may look like a devotee is going through some kind of problem. A common man too is going through some kind of problem. So what is the difference? Both are going through some kind of problem. Both are getting affected. No, not actually. Bhishma Pitama is getting affected. So Bhishma Pitama and a common person is at the same level. This is arrangement made by Krishna. I should say this is arrangement made by energy of Krishna, Maya Devi. It might appear like a devotee and a non-devotee are acting on the same plane, but they are not. A devotee and non-devotee may appear like same, but they are not. A devotee's work and a non-devotee's work are entirely different. A devotee's action on a devotee, and result enjoyed by a devotee and result enjoyed by a non-devotee are entirely different. It might look like same, just like activities done by a devotee and a non-devotee may look like same, but they are not same. Another question may be raised: what is the difference between a devotee and a common man, since both are put into different kinds of happiness and distressful condition? The devotee by the arrangement of Supreme Personality of Godhead, and the common man as a result of the past deeds. How is the devotee any better than the ordinary karmi? The answer is that the karmis and the devotees are not on the same level. In whatever condition of life karmi may be, he continues in the cycle of birth and death, because the seed of karma or fruitive activity is there, and it fructifies whenever there is an opportunity. By the law of karma, a common man is perpetually entangled in repeated birth and death, whereas a devotee's distress and happiness, not being under the laws of karma, are part of the temporary arrangement by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, which does not entangle a devotee. Such an arrangement is made by Lord only to serve a temporary purpose. If a karmi perform an auspicious activities, he is elevated to the heavenly planets, and if he acts impiously, he is put into a hellish condition. But whether a devotee acts in the so-called pious or impious manner, he is never elevated nor degraded because he is transferred to the spiritual kingdom. Therefore, a devotee's happiness and distress and a karmi's happiness and distress are not on the same level. This fact is corroborated by the speech of Yamaraja to his servants in connection with the liberation of Ajamil. Yamaraja advised the followers that they should approach only those persons who have not uttered the holy name of the Lord or remember the form, qualities, and pastime of the Lord. Yamraja also advises his servant never to approach the devotees. On the contrary, he instructed his messengers that if they meet a devotee, they should offer their respectful obeisances. So, there is no question of a devotee being promoted or degraded within this material world, as there is a gulf of difference between the punishment awarded by a mother and a punishment avoided by an enemy. So, devotee's distress is not at the same is not the same as the distress of common karmi. Here another question may be raised: if the Supreme Lord is all powerful, why should he try to reform his devotee by putting him in distress? The answer is that when the Supreme Personality of Godhead puts his devotee in distress, it is not without purpose. So, if Krishna is putting anyone in distress, it is not without purpose. It may appear like a distress, but a devotee is completely surrendered down to Krishna and he is not affected by actions of this material world. The answer is that when the Supreme Personality of Godhead puts his devotees in distress, it is not without purpose. Sometimes the purpose is that the distress of a devotee's feeling of attachment of Krishna are magnified. For example, when Krishna, before leaving the capital of Pandava for his home, asked Kunti Devi for permission to leave, she said, "My dear Krishna, in our distress you are always present with us. Now, because we are in an elevated, we are being elevated to a royal position, you are leaving us. I would therefore prefer to live in distress than lose you." When a devotee is put into a situation of distress, his devotional activities are accelerated. Now, this is a prayer by Kunti Maharani. Kunti Maharani's prayer could not be copied by any novice devotee. Yeah, she is topmost devotee. You cannot copy. You cannot be like that. We should never copy any devotee. We should just follow the footsteps. Right. Now, here one very important thing is there. When any devotee is following the footsteps, when any devotee is doing any work, a devotee's role is just one. A devotee's role is to feel the love for Krishna. He does not want to understand anything else. He is not concerned what the world says, what these are saying, what those are saying. I am in a very troubled state. I am facing this. This is happening. That is happening. Pull and push of this world does not affect him. He is just concerned whether my efforts, I am putting in efforts to please my Guru and Krishna. I am not concerned about the world. Let the world say whatever they want to. In any situation, they would be saying things which are unfortunate. Now, we just read what is unfortunate. In any situation, they would be saying things unfortunate. Out of 1,000 among men, only one would try to do bhakti. So 999 of them would not be doing bhakti. Most of them would never be doing bhakti. So what is the point in pleasing the world? A devotee would not be concerned about this world. A devotee would just be feeling about Krishna. Now Kunti Devi is topmost devotee. She is just equating two situations. In one situation, she was remembering Krishna, the distressful condition. And in another situation where she is elevated to a royal kingdom, Krishna is going away. She is saying, my distressful condition was better. I was remembering you. In this elevated position, where I am situated in a higher position, I am given some royal opulences. I am not remembering you. I am not seeing you. You are going away. I do not want this. I want you. That's the real test of bhakti. At any situation, we must ask for Krishna rather than anything else. Anything else put together we do not want. We want Krishna. We cannot be Kunti Maharani. But this is how we should follow the footsteps of Kunti Maharani. Now, because we have been elevated to royal position, you are leaving us. I would therefore prefer to live in distress than to lose you. When a devotee is put into a situation of distress, his devotional activities are accelerated. Therefore, to show special favor to a devotee, the Lord sometimes put him into distress. Besides that, it is stated that the sweetness of happiness is sweeter to those who have tasted bitterness. Yeah. Now, just understand this part. Suppose you eat something bitter, the taste of sweetness would come out even more. But you should not be even understanding this. You should just understand I am completely surrendered to Krishna. Whatever Krishna want to do with me, he may do. How am I concerned whether good things happen to me or bad things happen to me? How am I concerned? It is Krishna who has to see. I am not concerned about myself. Madhavan Puri was not even concerned about his prasadam. If Krishna wants, he may give. We are not Madhavan Puri. Please do not copy. We should be in that situation where we are completely surrendered to Krishna, and we should completely be dependent upon the mercy of Krishna. So yes, moving on faster. I think we should be completing this chapter today. That's why we are going a bit fast. My dear Krishna, in our distress, you were always present. Now, because we have been elevated to a royal position, you are leaving us. I therefore prefer to live in distress than to lose you. When the devotee is put into a situation of distress, his devotional activities are accelerated. Therefore, to show a special favor to a devotee, the Lord sometimes puts him in distress. Besides that, it is stated that the sweetness of happiness is sweeter for those who have tasted bitterness. The Supreme Lord descends to this material world just to protect the devotee from distress. In other words, if devotees were not in distressful condition, the Lord would not have come. So a devotee would say, coming now, put me in distress. It's okay. You would be coming now. I just want you to come. I just want you. Devotee just wants Krishna. He is not concerned about what would happen to me in distressful condition. I would feel that pain, nothing. He just wants Krishna. As for his killing of demons or miscreant, this can be easily done by various energies, just as many asuras were killed by his external energy, goddess Durga. Therefore, the Lord does not need to come down personally to kill such demons. But when his devotees is in distress, he must come down. Lord Nrsimhadev appeared not only in order to kill Hiranyakashipu, but to save Prahlad and to give him blessing. In other words, because Prahlad Maharaj was put in very great distress, the Lord appeared. When after the dense dark night there is finally sunrise in the morning, it is very pleasant. When there is scorching heat, cold water is very unpleasant. When there is a freezing winter, hot water is very pleasant. Similarly, when a devotee, after experiencing the distress of material world, relishes the spiritual happiness awarded by Lord, his position is still more pleasant and enjoyable. The Lord continues, when my devotee is bereft of all material riches. Now we have detailed about riches just a while back. Please refer riches to that. When my devotee is bereft of all material riches and is deserted by his family, relatives and friends, members, whatever. Because he has no one to look after him, he completely takes shelter onto the lotus feet of the Lord. Srila Narottam Das Thakur has sung in this connection. My dear Lord, O son of Nand Maharaj, you are now standing before me with Srimati Radharani Maharani, the daughter of King Vrishbhanu. I am now surrendered unto you because I am now surrendered unto you. Please accept me. Please do not kick me away. I have no shelter other than you. I have no shelter other than you. When a devotee is thus put in the so-called miserable condition and bereft of riches, of family, he tries to relieve his original position of material opulence. But because he tries again and again, Krishna again and again takes away his resources. He finally becomes disappointed by the material activities, and in that stage of frustration, in all endeavors, he can fully surrender unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Such persons are advised by the Lord from within to associate with devotees. By associating with devotees, they are naturally become inclined to render service to the Personality of Godhead, and they immediately get all facilities from the Lord to advance in Krishna consciousness. The non-devotees, however, are very careful about preserving their material condition of life. Generally, therefore, such non-devotees do not come to worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but worship Lord Shiva and other demigods for immediate material profit. In the Bhagavad Gita, it is stated, therefore, Kang Shanta Karmana Siddhim Yajanti Iha Devata. The karmis, in order to achieve the success within this material world, worship various demigods. This, it is also stated by Lord Krishna that those who worship the demigods are not mature in their intelligence, the devotees of the Supreme Personality of God. Therefore, because of their strong attachment for Him, do not foolishly go to the demigod. Yeah. So, look, it's about loving. Suppose you love someone. When you love someone, you would be thinking about him all the time. If suppose you say I love you, and at some other point you are saying I love you, then and some other point you are saying to some other person I love you, I love you, I love you. Does he mean that he loves someone? No, he loves each and everyone. So, in order to be very loyal to whom you love, you are blinded by love, right? So you should have that feeling that you do not want anything else but Krishna. If you have that feeling, only then you would be doing bhakti. Else you would be doing some karma kand. Else you would be doing some material things. Yeah, not perfectly bhakti. So now this is very challenging. But whenever you have support of demigod, support of this, support of that, better get support of that. Unless you are bereft of all support, I do not have any support but you. Till that situation comes, we are not doing bhakti. Lord Krishna said to King Yudhishthira, my devotee is not deterred by any adverse condition of life. He is always remained fixed and steady. Therefore, I give myself to him and I favor him so that he can achieve the highest success of life. The mercy bestowed upon the tried devotee by the Supreme Personality of God, it is described as Brahma, which indicates that the greatness of that mercy can be compared to all the pervasive greatness of Brahman. Brahma means unlimitedly great and unlimitedly expanding. The mercy is also described as Paramam, for it has no comparison with the material world, and it is also called Suksman. Okay, Suksmam, very fine. Not only Shukshmam, okay, Shuksh, small, very fine. Not only that the Lord's mercy upon the tried devotee great and unlimitedly expansive, but it is for the finest quality of transcendental love between the devotee and the Lord. Such mercy is further described as chin matram, completely spiritual. The use of the word matram indicates uh, uh, absolute spirituality with no tinge of material qualities. That mercy is also called Sat, eternal, Anantam, unlimited. Since the devotee of the Lord is awarded such unlimited spiritual benefit, why should he worship demigod? A devotee of Krishna does not worship Lord Shiva or Brahma or any other subordinate demigod. He completely devotes himself to the transcendental loving service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Sukdev Goswami continued. The devotee headed by Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva including Lord Indra, Chandra, Varuna, and others are apt to be very quickly satisfied and very quickly where is that one? Okay, very quickly satisfied and very easily angered. Okay, nahin, something. Okay. Sukdev Goswami addressed King Parikshit thus: My dear king, Lord Brahma, Lord Vishnu, Lord Shiva. Nahin, this was not the paragraph. I missed the paragraph. Okay, yeah, this one. Sukdev Goswami continued. The demigod headed by Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, including Lord Indra, Chandra, Varuna, and others, are apt to be very quickly satisfied or very quickly angered by the good and the ill behavior of their devotees. But this is not with Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu. This means that every living entity within this material world, including the demigod, is conducted by the three modes of material nature, and therefore the qualities of ignorance and passion are very prominent within the material world. Those devotees who take blessings from the demigods are also infected by the material qualities, especially passion and ignorance. Lord Shri Krishna has therefore stated in Bhagavad Gita that to take blessing from the demigod is less intelligent, because when one takes benediction from the demigod, the result of such benediction are temporary. It is easy to get material opulence by worshipping the demigod, but the result is sometimes disastrous. As such, the benediction derived from the demigods are appreciated only by less intelligent class of men. Persons who derive benediction from the demigod gradually becomes puffed up with material opulence and neglectful of their benefactors. Sukdev Goswami addressed King Parikshit thus: my dear king, Lord Brahma, Lord Vishnu, Lord Shiva, the principal trio of the material creation, are able to bless or curse anyone. Of this, Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva are very easily satisfied but also very easily angered. When satisfied, they give benediction without consideration, and when angry, they curse the devotee without consideration. But Lord Vishnu is not like that. Lord Vishnu is very considerate. Whenever a devotee wants something from Lord Vishnu first considers whether such a benediction will ultimately be good for the devotee. Lord Vishnu never bestows any benediction which is ultimately proved disastrous to the devotee. By his transcendental nature, he is always merciful. Therefore, before giving any benediction, he considers whether it will prove beneficial to the devotee. Since the Supreme Personality of Godhead is always merciful, even when it appears that he has killed a demon, or even when he apparently becomes angry towards a devotee, his actions are always auspicious. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is therefore known as all good. Whatever he does is good. Krishna is all auspicious. As for the benediction given by demigod like Lord Shiva, there is the following historical incident cited by great sages. Once Lord Shiva, after giving benediction to a demon named Vrikasura, yes, Vrikasura, the son of Shakuni, was himself entrapped in a very dangerous position. Vikasura was searching after benediction and trying to decide which of the three presiding deities to worship in order to get it. In the meantime, he happened to meet great sage Narada and consulted him as to whom he should approach to achieve quick results from his austerity. He is inquired of the three deities, namely Lord Brahma, Lord Vishnu, and Lord Shiva, who is most quickly satisfied. Quickly satisfied. The question was wrong. Quickly satisfied. Who is that? You know the answer already. Narada could understand the plan of the demon, and he advised him, you had better worship Lord Shiva.